And we are live. Welcome to SimpleChew. I'm your host, Hank. Some people call me Henry. And we have today a couple of guests. What do we have today?
I'm Jared Jordan.
Simon Kidane.
Yeah, Simon's been... This is your second time.
That's right.
I'm already lit.
He's
by
pro.
the way. So, I mean, we just took a shot. How you guys feel?
That's the way they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm loose now.
Yeah.
So we've been trying this champagne. What do you guys think of the
It's not bad.
beer?
I had to take another look at it after I took the first sip. I was like, whoa, what is this?
Yeah, I don't know the name. I don't know.
I think it's exquisite.
We're doing like a beer review. I feel like.
Yeah.
But it's good.
I think it's a nice combo beer.
Yeah. So Simon, your Snapchat stock. You remember your last time that
Yeah.
you said that it was gonna go up, and did it go up?
From when it bottomed, yeah.
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 What was the price when
When I got it,
yeah.
I got more. I got it when I was 6. And then as soon as they hit like 11, 12-ish.
Try to get a little closer.
As soon as they hit like 11, 12-ish.
Yeah.
I doubled down even more.
Mm.
But now they're down a little bit, so.
You got a little cocky.
Yeah. I did.
That's okay.
But this is a long-term play for me, so
Yeah.
I'll stick with it.
Uh,
I'm fine.
you usually buy like 100 shares at a time, though, right?
I'll shoot for that, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you
Whatever
feel
I
about
can.
their CEO?
A little young, I'd say. Like, probably like cocky in every way, but I think he actually wants to keep that company. So I think he would, like, for now, it would take a while for him to like actually show maturity, probably.
Mm.
But like, he's definitely working on it, I would say.
Hmm.
I think the plan's already there. Yeah, it's just gonna take some time for it to like actually show off, to like actually show that it's in progress, that it's working.
It's profitable.
Yeah.
You think they should have sold to Facebook or Google, or was it better than them doing their own thing?
I mean, I think everything's cool when you're doing your own thing, but it all depends on like what you're competing against and like what's out there. What are you trying to do? Like if you look at Facebook's thing, I seen like a random commercial for them. And it showed on like their F8 thing, how like something that had to do with their what they called, like their face recognition or something like that. It was a commercial like recently, and I was like
on cable?
no, I think it was like on YouTube or something.
Oh,
I was just
okay.
letting it play, like I was just listening to it in the background.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I think I know that voice. And I was like, it's Mark Zuckerberg. And then I just watched it. And I was like, as I watched it, I was like, shit. But I was like, they can still pull through. I think about it like, oh, these guys have already been around for like more than a decade type thing. So of course they're going to have so many things down that like they can pull anything out the ass to make it seem look really cool. But
they're buying everything though.
yeah, they're buying it, but it's more like it really depends on like what your long-term plan is, like, and like what your trust is, like who do you get your trust from, like if your demographic wise, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you already have a bunch of kids on there that's like already adjusted because all their other friends are on there, they're gonna want to be on there too. And these kids are they're gonna grow up on that app, right, for like the next couple of years, 5 years, or even more,
Right.
depending how long their friends are gonna stick on there. And so I think like they're gonna end up staying there and using up like all their ads or whatnot are gonna like be targeted to them like when they're older adults buying stuff and everything.
Do you guys use Snapchat? You use it, right?
I do.
Jared?
I actually prefer Snapchat over Instagram.
Why?
I like that it's a separate entity. I'm not with Facebook anymore, but I still have Instagram, so I guess by association I'm with Facebook. But you know, I much prefer Snapchat.
Yeah.
I like that they were the originator with the story. Instagram has caught on to that,
just
basically stole their
Yeah.
swag, which should be illegal. I don't know what's going on with that, but it's basically it's the same idea. Right. So the IP, there's got to be something there. They've got to have a lawsuit against them.
I think they have a lawsuit.
Okay,
it has to do with like their code. Like you ever seen like how Silicon Valley
that show
and some
yeah I like that show. Yeah.
So like I guess it's like as long as they can like retrace like how the code was, they can reword the stuff to make it seem like think of like how some of the patents work. Or like if someone creates something else, but like they describe it differently, they can still make it do this and this.
Can we agree that they're extremely similar though?
They definitely are.
It's like,
Snapchat had it first.
You're a nurse, right, Jared?
Yeah, I am.
And it's like medicine. When you have like a genetic medicine.
Generic?
Oh, genetic. Exactly. Yeah.
From like a brand name.
Exactly.
So it's like they trace the same chemical compounds and then you just make the same.
Yeah, they have the generic and for the trade name for the drug, they have 10 years to make money off of that before other companies can get the generic formula and then they can produce it. That's my understanding anyway.
So I think it's the same thing with technology.
Yeah, I just didn't like, Snapchat was there for maybe a few years, and then all of a sudden Instagram starts playing the story game, which was Snapchat's MO. And people started switching heavily from Snapchat to Instagram, especially once they changed their interface. They had that new that huge update where a ton of people were like, "Oh, boycott Snapchat." I was still rocking with Snapchat though. I was all about it. And in fact, I rarely post. If I'm going to post something to my story, it's on Snapchat. It's not on IG. But that's just my personal preference. I just prefer it. I think it's more personal. It's my friend group. And I think, I have a lot less people that I am in contact with on Snapchat versus Instagram. I think I have probably hundreds of more followers on Instagram. But...
Right.
My like close friends I connect with on Snapchat. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, because it's really... I find it hard to find friends on Snapchat. But you need to know their phone number or you need to know like that weird username.
Their code.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's like, true. You need to take a picture.
True. Yeah, you can scan it. Yeah.
But I can see where it's more intimate with your friends. Where you can send like
a personal snap,
right?
Like if you see something, like I'll go on Henry Street or something, I might snap that and send that to you or something like that. But
and it's really cool. But yeah, if I want to stalk you, I need to go to Snapchat.
Definitely.
I don't go to your IG. Yeah, you have some stuff. You got pictures and stuff. But
yeah, I occasionally post IG.
I mean, I think everybody has to be on it. If like, you need to show your swag and you need to flex on people sometimes.
Absolutely. You gotta put them in their place.
So you have, you're into stocks too.
I sure am, actually. These two gentlemen helped get me into stocks. I've made mistake after mistake, but I will say that I'm doing very well currently. So that's good.
How was that mistake? With
sure.
The margin.
Yeah. So I didn't quite understand the concept of margin, and I opened up a TD Ameritrade account with margin enabled, which I should have opened one without margin.
Disabled it.
Yeah. With it disabled, exactly. So I would put, say, a couple grand into my TD Ameritrade account and plan on investing with just that, say $2,000, for instance. And all of a sudden, I'd go to purchase a stock, and I'd find that there was $4,000 available. $2,000 being margin, $2,000 being my own money. And I thought to myself, well, I thought I put $2,000 in there, but maybe I put a little more in, not really thinking it through. So I would invest with that $4,000. I ended up buying a lot of really good stocks for good prices, but I got in over my head. And times when I didn't put any money in, they would still allow me, because the market was doing so good, my portfolio was doing really well. They would allow me to keep investing based on my returns, because I was getting, 30% from this stock, 15% from this stock. So they're like, here's another 500, here's another 1,000. They were going to keep letting me invest, which I should have realized that, it's not free money.
It wasn't your money, yeah.
Absolutely. And when the market, hit a little dip, that's when they came calling. They asked me, "Hey, where the money at?" So
That hurts.
yeah, they hit me with the first call, and I said,
What was that call like?
yeah. So I got a little message because I had lost a decent amount of money just from the market going down just a little bit, and I was under what
their barrier would be.
Exactly what their barrier was exactly. So they said, you know what, you're going to need to either sell some stock or add more money to basically keep it afloat, because I had a loan through them and they didn't like that I was starting to lose money. They were with me when I was winning, because everyone's going to be with you when you're winning.
People
when
are
you're
going to be
on top, people are going to come out of the woodwork. Oh, I was always there for you. Always.
Right,
I always wanted you to make
you.
it. Exactly. Everyone's going to be there to celebrate with you. But when you're down, people are going to say,
see ya.
Yeah, exactly. They're out of there.
Yeah.
Give me my money. I'm out. I don't trust you anymore. So that's basically what happened there. So I actually talked to Henry and Simon and my brother, and I wanted out of it essentially. But so I ended up having to call TD Ameritrade and telling them that I want nothing to do with
the margin. I think it's the phone and the table.
Essentially, I told them that I wanted nothing to do with the margin. So what they offered me is I could either put more money up to cover what I had borrowed essentially from TD Ameritrade, or I could sell stocks to cover what I had borrowed. Exactly. So I ended up having to sell a lot of stock. I had Snapchat, on the earlier side, I had to sell that. CGC, I had at like $22. It's now like 45 or something. God. So I had some big winners. I did end up keeping Amazon, which were my babies. I'm doing really well still on Amazon.
I remember you first bought them.
Yeah, I was so proud of that. I always wanted some. And Berkshire B. I wish I could get Berkshire A.
I love that. That's my favorite. That's my baby.
It's consistent. I think he's brilliant. So I actually, and I had to take some serious losses as well. Not just, I didn't just sell when I was up like with CGC. I also had to sell on losses. Like I had Snapchat, I think had lost some, and so I ended up losing about $3,000.
Wow.
So,
I mean, it's a lesson learned.
It's a lesson learned. Smart people learn from other people's mistakes, and fools learn from their own. So that's what I had to do. But now I'm smarter because I have gone through that, and I'm much more careful when I make investments. So.
Yeah, I mean, it gets confusing because I got a MetaTrade account too. Mm-hmm. I don't use it that much though. I just use it for my retirement mostly. Yep. I don't use it for like trading. But I can see how confusing it gets, all the screens going in. Click here, click over there, accept this. And you're like, okay. I mean, you just want to invest.
Can I buy my stock?
You can't just buy it.
They make it a little too easy for you to lose money.
Yeah. It's like Facebook. Like, if you open like a Facebook account, you just like clicking stuff. And they might be using your data for something.
That's fair.
But
that's why I'm off Facebook.
You're off Facebook?
I am. I have been for a few years. Almost 5 years.
2012 for me, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you get in that wagon?
So how did I?
Yeah. I mean, I have a business account with Facebook.
That's different. Yeah.
Just to promote the channel. And
absolutely. You can't cut that off if you're a small business owner.
It's necessary. Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. I mean, what kind of pictures are you using? Like, just a logo? I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Plus, it's like you need it for connection. Everybody else always goes on there anyway. And then I guess they do their links for what other stuff. You can use the same logo on all the other sites like Yelp and all that. Well, no.
Yeah, I use it for Yelp. I use it for like YouTube. And
no, but like not you. I mean, intentionally, but like.
Oh people. Yeah.
I do like the platform for networking, but not so much for people oversharing and sharing pictures of their babies that aren't cute.
Yeah.
Or
There's a lot of
their
that.
unsolicited political opinions.
Right.
He's still an infant. Give him a year. That way we can know he has a face. So we know who he actually looks like.
I love Twitter because it's like a flood of just literally bullshit coming
Babble, exactly.
in. And you're like, it's just super entertaining.
Mhm.
Like I could spend hours in Twitter and then go on Facebook and be like, people here are boring. Like,
It's like scrolling down YouTube comments. It's forever.
oh yeah, I love those too.
I was going down the YouTube comments and someone was like, don't do it, man. You're going in too deep. I
Yeah.
was like,
And
what are
you,
you talking
you
about?
click the sub messages.
And then there's more.
Subreddit.
Yeah.
It doesn't end.
I have to say, I think you have to be a lot more clever on Twitter because you only have a certain amount of characters to put out, right? So
And there's a lot of eyes.
your message has to be concise. So
I think they did the extension, though. I mean, I haven't been on for a while. But, like,
There's only like
I would rather
40 more
Twitter anyway.
characters though.
but
More,
compared
yeah.
to a Facebook where you can write a manifesto,
okay.
and then on
Yeah,
Twitter
I would
you
rather
might
Twitter.
only have a couple hundred characters to type.
Like literally on Facebook, when I see like click for more, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm,
If you didn't get across the message in that first, page and a half that they give you, it's not worth it.
you know, there's gonna be a bunch of bullshit. And,
The first 150 characters.
Absolutely.
140 is,
But
man.
in the videos, I'm learning that when I post those videos on Instagram and Facebook, sometimes I realize that people don't hear the sound, like they don't click on the video.
Oh.
That's why what I'm gonna do next time is write like subtitles, like manually write subtitles because people, like I was reading an article that said that like 90% of people who watch those videos, they don't even click the sound. Like you have to.
They
like,
just
tap
sit
it.
there and wait for some action to happen.
Yeah, they just like
Yeah.
look at it and like, oh, I need to read, and they just read the subtitles.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
I didn't think that was the thing.
Yeah, I would have thought like people were gonna wants to hear it.
Absolutely.
Like it's not.
I'm going to guess that, like, they either don't see a little sound thing somewhere
Mm.
or they're probably like, I don't feel like tapping this.
Right.
Yeah.
People are lazy.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I don't feel like going to the other side of my phone screen just to tap this.
Yeah.
I'll just scroll down.
I mean, it's the small things that you learn as you go. Like,
That's fair. You get better.
yeah.
You already have gone better. So.
I'm trying. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So, as a nurse, right? Do you get like a lot of questions from friends and families about like
for medical advice? Oh, absolutely.
It was me 5 minutes ago.
It's quite often.
Before this started.
It's true. It's
Like,
true.
he said,
Can we bring that up? Simon?
bring
Do
it
you want
up.
to talk about
I
that?
was like, bro, I'm sick. I've been coughing up phlegm for like the past 2 days.
Right.
That's supposed to be things I'm supposed to avoid, right? He goes, huh? He goes, well, I mean, yeah, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I remember from like micro, it was supposed to be things like dairy, alcohol, sugar. And yeah, I mean, I know I'm drinking this, but like, I guess apparently if I'm not binge drinking, I'm okay. So, I'll take his word for it.
Everything's okay in moderation.
Yeah.
That's the
Of
big
course.
thing.
Yeah.
But of course, you want to try to eat as healthy as possible to help you heal and minimize the sugar in drinking, of course. Although it is delicious, so it's difficult to
It's
pass
tough.
by on that.
I'm already 2 in, so it's like,
In moderation.
That's your
fine.
second
It's
beer, and
moderation.
you took a shot.
okay, now we're counting. All right.
So that would be 3.
Yeah.
Whoa, Simon's getting hammered today.
Oh, really?
If you were on antibiotics, I would say absolutely no.
Absolutely
You'd be cut
not.
off.
I'm not on, so I'm okay.
So yes, you can imagine just in this one instance, I get a lot of questions about medical advice, and I am not a doctor, so I preface my advice with that. I am not a doctor. However, I would suggest,
Going to your primary doctor.
yeah, typically I say exactly, depending on the severity of the issue. If it's severe, go to the emergency room right away. If it's not, bring it up with your primary care physician at your next
If it's
visit.
like my issue, you wouldn't bring up the part where it's like, yeah, you should see your doctor.
Yeah.
It's just like, you'll be fine. You'll
Yeah,
be
For him, walk it off. You'll be
Walk it
okay.
No need to bring up the discretionary. I'm not a doctor. Just
Just go to bed earlier, and
exactly.
the next day you'll be fine.
Any random person. I'm not a doctor, but just do this, that.
Were you getting those questions those asked you were in school, or once you graduated and started working as a nurse, you got
I will say I've been getting them all throughout nursing school, and especially now that I'm a full-fledged nurse for almost 6 years. But yes, even in nursing school, they just assume that once you enroll in a program, you amass
all this knowledge,
large quantities of knowledge, exactly, which is untrue. You learn how to pass a nursing exam, which is terrific, and that's how you get your pass your boards. But you don't actually get the medical knowledge until you start your practice.
Yeah, I only asked because when I went to Salem State and they have like a big nursing.
Salem State, baby.
Salem?
Oh yeah,
yeah. So
that's right.
Like the math department was close to the nursing department.
Yes, it was.
And anything that happened, people would just ask like a nursing student, like, "Hey, I got this rash." It's like, just go to the nurse. Like, just go to your doctor. Like, why are you asking us like a student? Like, it's a freshman.
Absolutely.
But
you got to ask someone who might have a little more knowledge, like say a dermatologist might know about a rash. They're probably the experts on rashes.
It's like it didn't make sense. And plus, you're like a specific kind of nurse.
Exactly. I'm a neuroscience nurse, so I deal with typically like neurosurgical and neurological patients. So anywhere from brain surgery, back surgery, to stroke, seizures, and weird neurological disorders.
Which is insane.
Yeah, MS,
so
Parkinson's, ALS. Like there's tons of them.
So. You've been there for a while now.
I have.
You still like it?
I do really like it. Yeah, the floor is great, and I work with my guy Henry, and Simon works on the floor too. So it's a good unit.
Yeah, that's
under 7.
We met.
That's right.
Nobody really takes that into account. Is what I'm gonna actually, because if you think about it, like whenever someone comes up to you with any issue, they won't think about like what do you specialize in. Like nobody realizes that, like, you have to ask someone who's actually specialized. And I'm like, yeah, we can have a broad knowledge of it, but other than that, it's like, what do you mean you don't know?
Yeah, that's fair. I think at some of the smaller hospitals, you don't get to specialize as much because they see a little bit of like if you're at my wife works at Catholic Medical Center and they specialize in like cardiac. They have other units, but they're a smaller hospital, so they take a lot of medical overflow. They take surgical overflow. So she sees a broad. She gets ortho patients. She gets all types of different patients on that one floor, and she's on a cardiac surgical floor, but she gets tons of patients. Where we're at Mass General, we are able to specialize and we get just a certain subset of patients because there's so many different specialties and floors. So we really are heavy on the neurosurge and neurology. So.
You always wanted to do neurology, or you were just looking for?
That was actually, so I was on a cardiac medical step-down unit. So heart attacks, heart failure, stuff like that. Not non-surgical stuff or post-op surgical. But maybe about 6 months before I graduated, we got a new nursing director who didn't like new grads for some reason. So from the previous nurse director, I was essentially promised a job, but of course, when she left, she couldn't guarantee that. So I hold no ill will towards her because she was wonderful. But my last nurse director on that unit said that she didn't hire new grads. So she told me to go to another floor for 6 months and then come back. Which, that's totally disrespectful to any other nurse director who's willing to have you work for 6 months and train you. Those are the most important, months of your training. So I was never going to do that. I was never going to come back. Once I left, that was it.
That doesn't make sense.
And I happened to, I happened to hear that a previous nurse that was on Ellison 10, my previous unit, was the new nurse director on Lender 7. So it was a no-brainer because she came from cardiac and is now neuro. And she hired me, and I've been there ever since.
So once you graduate and you pass your board, does offers just comes to you, or you need to still put that work to get like into a floor?
I wish it was like that,
Yeah.
that the offers just flow in because they're like, oh, here's a nurse right here. We need a nurse. Perfect. 1-to-1. Nice. Unfortunately, you have maybe, say there's 30 positions, but there might be 120 nurses looking for those 30 positions. So there was a time when there was a shortage of nurses, and it is not the time currently. There is a surplus of nurses, I would say. Because they keep cranking them out. All these schools are doing a great job training all these nurses, but there's not a lot of jobs available as far as I know. However, I was fortunate to get 3 interviews, and I got 2 job offers, so I was more fortunate than some. But I think it is worse now. That they've had to post getting my position. They've had new grad programs where they've hired 12 to 15 new grad nurses to a residency program where they paid them $12 an hour.
Crazy.
I mean, that's
that,
you can't live off $12 an hour these
That's like
days.
minimum wage almost.
You can't pay rent
Right.
for $12
Not in
an
Boston.
hour. No, absolutely not. No,
you
you'd
need to be in the suburbs, like suburbs.
exactly. You'd have to live in
The suburbs of down south.
precisely. So you'd have to essentially live with your parents to
Right.
do a new grad residency. Now we did have a lot of nurses go through the new grad residency, but a lot of them didn't make it as well. So, I mean, it was
Just because there weren't enough spots, or because they weren't that good as a nurse?
probably 50-50.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Some of them just weren't good enough. And then some of them, there weren't enough jobs. But the ones that did make it are worthy, and they're doing an excellent job. But to go through the training, it was like 4 months of getting paid $12 an hour. I mean, you better have a second job. And you're working 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
There's not much time to do else. The only person I know that works 2 jobs is you, and then even still,
3
it's
jobs.
crazy. Oh, excuse me.
No.
True. 3 jobs. So
This is not
and
even a job.
You happen to be crazy, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. But for other people, it's not normal to have to work 2 jobs. But that's what you would have to do for at least.
I mean,
those
for
2
$12,
months.
yeah.
Mhm.
God damn.
I think
Going to
it's
all
not
that
ideal.
school.
it all depends on like where they're coming from or whatnot, or what's like their position already. Like say if what were they doing during school,
Mm.
and then like what they had to do it for 4 months or longer than that.
I think it was about 4 months. Yeah.
4
You
months.
need to hustle those 4 months.
Yeah. So basically,
Absolutely.
they just had to be perfect the next 4 months,
Right.
and then they were guaranteed everything. Right.
Well,
Yeah,
not
Basically,
really,
no,
right?
not really.
There was no guarantees for positions, but on certain floors, depending on how many nursing positions that were available, most of the nurses got hired. But on our floor, I would say less than half.
That just sounds like a setup. Like we just need you to do some certain things for us in the meantime.
Just be like an assistant for a little bit, and
Yeah.
a cheap assistant. I don't know how it works.
Yeah,
I don't know the business of the hospital.
It's like a temp.
But yeah,
in a
basically.
way.
it is.
Yeah.
It is a temp.
I mean, we
exactly.
hire temps at my bank.
Yep.
And it's like, but they know, like, you're gonna pay, like, you're gonna get paid like not even close to what like
Yeah.
the person's doing your job, but you're getting experience, and then you can move on and do something else to a different bank.
Once you get through those months,
Yeah.
great. I can claim the experience.
So people usually take those jobs, but
Better over nothing. Yeah. Regardless, and then definitely, yeah, like you said, use it for the next place.
the pattern that I've seen to those people who take those like temporary jobs is they never did like an internship that were in college, or they would just like party in, and then like they graduate and it's like, holy shit, I need a job now. I have no experience because
I hate to agree with you, but
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. I will say I worked all through college, which is not abnormal in any way, but I did work on my floor on Ellison 10, and I worked from my freshman year all the way till I graduated senior year, and I shook the right hands, I made connections, and that's how I ultimately got the job, not because I had the degree at a certain university or college, but because I made the right connections.
Right.
That was the key.
And you had the experience.
Exactly. If I just sat on my ass and, and partied and stuff, I still was able to party, of course, but I didn't go out every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You will focus
day.
on.
Right. I was like, you know what? I unfortunately have to work weekend evenings for a few years, and it is what it is. But it's
now
going to be worth it in the end.
Right.
And it ended up being worth it. So that was good.
Yeah, man, that's the way to go, man. Like,
Absolutely.
I think we have this illusion that once you graduate, you guarantee a job. I guess when I was in high school, that was the story.
That was the thought. Yeah.
That was, I mean, teachers were telling you need to go to college because that's the way to get a job or to progress or to just pay the bills at the end of the day.
I'd say maybe from their point of view.
Maybe
Like-
they grew up in a different era where
Exactly.
college was,
Yeah.
once you graduate, you definitely had a job.
It was mandatory.
Everybody was like a blue collar worker, and then, but now like a bachelor is like a high school. Like if you don't have it, like
I think it's more like they probably view it as a requirement to meet what the job wants. You know, like the minimum requirement. Like, oh, you have that degree. Okay, you pass, but you still don't have all the other experience that we really want someone to have. Like, if a boss really wanted you for this job, they would overlook the fact that there was a bachelor's, or that there was a degree of any kind, and see that you had the experience. You know, once they see that, they're just like, you know what, we can slide off this whole degree part. You have what I need. Let's see what you can do, and then
yeah, that
Makes
happens a lot in banking.
exactly.
Where if you have like 10 years of accounting experience but no degree, but you like somebody reference you, guaranteed job.
Exactly.
And you can come from like Bentley or a good school and with an accounting degree. It's like
It's
I don't
almost more important to have that experience.
Yeah, because I mean, banks and all this finance firms, they just want money. Like if you know how to get the money in, they don't really care where you come from.
They just say you have the right logic. Like, you have the level of logic we need from you if you graduate from this school.
And we can train you.
Yeah. We can train you to, like, understand what we already know, just to copy what we do. Other than that, we're not going to teach you something to, like, do better than us in a way. You know?
Right.
We just need you to do our minimum stuff. That way we can go on and do other stuff. Right? In a way.
Like a lot of the salesmen in our bank, it's just like car salesman guys. Like they just hustle. They don't even have like high degrees, and they're getting paid like 9 figures. They're like, and you look at them and like,
That's excellent.
God damn! Like I had to go to 4 years. I could have been like a salesman and learn all the skills of, because you meet them and you're like, oh, no wonder you're like that. Like no wonder you're closing all these deals because of the way they are. Like they just focus on social dynamics, and then you're like, fuck, you're like so logical because school just teach you to be like in a certain
Not the same way as
By
that.
the book.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting to see.
Absolutely.
In nursing, I feel like there's not a lot of guys in nursing, right? A lot of men.
That's fair. Yeah, I would say it's
I think they're increasing. Yeah.
it is definitely going up. I would still say it's probably less than 15%.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe around 10%.
Hmm.
I mean, for instance, my floor, there are around 75 nurses, we'll say, and there's like 12 guys. So,
Really?
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You think? Why do you think that? Because it's
It could be the stigma thing. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of, guys want to do more manly stuff. They want to do the sports movement science, going, everyone wants to be a coach. Everyone wants to be a manager or finance
Right.
or, the manly stuff. They want to open their own business, which is wonderful. I mean, I think nursing that people are always going to get sick because, especially in America, people don't take care of themselves. They don't eat right. They don't exercise. They drink too much cerveza. So they're
Watch
doing
TV too much.
Yes, exactly. That's not exercise, sitting on the couch and watching TV, unfortunately. You got to get out there and move around at least 30 minutes a day. But I digress. I went into nursing because there was going to be a job for me when I got out, because of my work ethic, not because I have a degree and there's automatically a job for me. I knew there was going to be a job for me because there's at least a few jobs there, and I'm going to be better than the next guy or girl. So I was setting myself up to make sure that I had a job.
Yeah, you thought it through right. I think a lot of students go to school and like they do philosophy or they do history, and then they still expect like a job
Or poli-sci or
like
Not even know what they're gonna do with it after.
Right.
Like as soon as like you'll have friends that will talk to you like I graduated, but like now I just have to find someone who I'm gonna work for. Beyond, it's like I think it depends on what they really want to do after. Like if they leave with a poli-sci, they say if they want to.
What is it? Poly.
But political science or something. Like if they want to be like, say if they want to be like a lawyer or something later on.
Excuse me,
you know?
I should have clarified initially.
Okay.
Thank you.
Like I never even heard of that.
It's the shorter abbreviation in a way, but think of like, yeah, they say, okay, I want to be a lawyer later in life, but then like they didn't start.
Not sure they want to be a lawyer. Or something.
Exactly, and then they find out like they couldn't get like some sort of clerkship or something through a law firm or whatever, you know. There's other ways that they could have done things. Like they could have started things with friends, like started certain companies or something like that. They could have like did things that require like putting together patents or trademarks or something, just filing the work. As long as they know the process, they're already like getting into the trade of like understanding how the law works, how regulation works, and all the other stuff. But I think like when it comes to things like that, nobody really shows them like what's really out there.
Right.
You know?
I mean, I think it's just high school. I mean, the same thing when I was in high school. They never went like this different path outside college. Everybody was pushing college. Like it was like an agenda. I don't know if they were getting paid or.
There's got to be something there. Yeah. I think our education system is still based around training people to work in factories, which is totally, we need a total revamp of the system because that's not what's happening now. There's so many jobs that are being lost to automation and everything. So I think we really need to just rework the whole system.
Yeah, I was just talking about that with Simon about AI. Like
yeah,
I'm literally looking for a company to invest that is working on AI because they're gonna literally replace everything. Not everything, but a lot of like manual work, blue collar work.
Repetitive stuff. Yeah.
Of course, there's jobs to work with the machines and those systems to do coding and all that stuff. So those jobs are still available and gonna be increasingly more available. But a lot of those repetitive jobs, like you guys are saying, are gonna go away. That's very true.
But that's the same situation where if you're gonna go to college, you need to know what do you want to do. Like
learn something that doesn't require you to be a Luddite if you leave.
Right.
Like,
especially if you go to a state school, why would you do like an English major? Like, come on. Like, do like nursing. That's like perfect. Do like carpentry. Like, I think Salem State has like
trades are actually
like a trade.
Trades are definitely up and coming. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of jobs available and not a lot of people doing trades. They're very overlooked. Plumbing, carpentry. I mean,
you have a house too, right?
I sure
did. You bought your first house.
I did a couple years ago. Yep.
And now like
I'm now a tradesman. I'm a plumber. Right. I'm a carpenter. I've done a little of everything. Yeah.
When you do that, don't you wish like you knew a little bit more of
absolutely
like electrician and
but we never learned that in school. We learned how to we learned about Pythagorean's theorem, which is wonderful.
When did you use it
for that test?
I'm still trying to remember when I'm going to use it. Right?
Just for that one test, and that's it. I forgot about it.
It's funny. I looked at it the other day when I was doing I was looking at my GREs. I was like, I remember this one time in high school. Other than that, no.
I took the MCAT. No, not the GMAT.
GMAT.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a logical person, so I was like, okay, this makes sense.
You should do fine.
But at the end, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to like do the y equals whatever. Those graphs.
Equals mx plus b or something.
I was like, the slope thing.
It's like drilled in my head.
Yeah.
I know I'm never going to use it
Pythagorean's theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to remember that. Like, I've been working for other stuff.
It's more like I don't remember what I'm supposed to use this for, but
And then when you mix it with like a question, like I get the question, but why do you need that? Like I was fighting
In
the
real
question.
life?
Yeah.
in real life,
It's very rare that those things come up.
So I was fighting the test. So then I was
Absolutely.
like, "This is bullshit. I'm not going to grad school."
Yeah.
Plus, they wanted like 100K.
That's the big thing.
for the grad school.
Yeah.
Are you willing to put yourself in a huge hole like that, and then you're basically hedging your future? You're hoping that you're going to come out on top with
Right.
a position that's really going to make it worth it. That $100,000 investment that you're taking a loss $100,000 and hoping that you're going to make an exponential amount of more money, but
Right.
it might not happen. It depends on what you go into.
Well, the thing is, if I didn't have an example of somebody else who did it and where they're at, I would have done it. Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, I've seen other people go through that route and be in the same position or earn the same money or just earn like a little 5%.
Is that worth it?
And you
That
like,
$100,000 loss?
hell no.
That you could have. That's a 20% down payment on a good house.
Exactly.
Or, an investment property. That's you can put that in stocks. You can put that in your retirement. I mean, to me, that's not worth it. That's why I haven't gone back to school to be a nurse, so I can pay more in taxes.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy.
Like employment, like working for an employer and then receiving that money, you're paying so much taxes. Like I sold stocks last year, and then I had gains on that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 11% on the dividends and
Pretty
the gain.
good.
And you're like 11% on. I just got taxed on that gain. That's ridiculous. I'm getting taxed 40 on my
Exactly.
employment.
That's terrific. If you were just a
If-
trader,
yeah.
you'd be doing fine.
It's weird how the tax system works. Well,
It
how
doesn't
the
make
Yeah.
sense.
capitalist system works.
And who invests in stocks?
Rich people.
Usually rich
the first
people.
person. The
Exactly.
I guess apparently
1%.
it has to do with as long as you keep money in the American business, you show that you're supporting American system. And so, like, because you helped other businesses go up, we'll tax you less. In a way, I'd say that's understandable. You helped other businesses thrive so other workers can continue to work in a way.
Yeah, I mean they can do the money. They can do with our money whatever they want. The company,
Exactly.
but we buy part of that company, so we
Yeah.
are like part owners.
It's true.
But
But-
yeah, $100,000 doesn't make sense with school.
No.
No.
It didn't for me, and I'm glad you guys.
And
are
I see in nursing
like-minded.
a lot of nurses going for like those $100,000.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you go. I mean, it depends on the school. I mean, you could go to BC and you can spend $55,000 a year for
So
your
that's-
bachelor's degree. Now, I went to Salem State just like you, my man. Let's go Vikings. And I paid about $3,000 a year for the first 2 years, and then it was $6,000 a year.
Yeah, because
For
you got
that.
a bump. With university.
I got financial aid. I had scholarship throughout my
Right.
career. So, but I came out of Salem State with no debt versus someone that went to BC or that went to Northeastern, that went to Mass College of Pharmacy, Simmons. You're paying 10 times that
47
minimum,
grand.
20 times that even.
And you like what? It doesn't. Make
And we
sense.
have the same degree. And I might even be a better nurse than you. I might
Right.
be just as good.
Mm.
But I took on way less debt than you did, and you're going to be paying debt for the rest of your life. And I'm free.
And I see it all the time. It's so sad.
It is.
Like even at my job, and I work in finance. If they check your credit history before they hire you, because they want to know, like, okay, this guy, like, all this business. I'm only hiring women. Like,
I will say, Kevin O'Leary, one of the sharks on Shark
He
Tank,
said something like that, right?
Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah.
When he invests, he doesn't necessarily try to get women CEOs, but when he does invest, he's more likely to win on an investment when it's a woman CEO that is running a business.
because they're really sharks.
They work harder.
Yeah.
They really do.
They're aggressive and they're like.
Absolutely.
I see the like.
They're
Focus
ferocious.
way
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I'm wrong, and then we like against our boss, they destroy me.
I mean, it's
Facts after facts,
Those-
and I'm like,
that's just numbers.
And now all I can say is like, sorry, I'll do better next time. Like, I'm done. Like,
Absolutely.
this is better at that. Like, there should be more in finance.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, that might be on women to start going into finance.
There's a thing.
And engineering. Like, I hear the same
And
thing.
engineering, absolutely. Yeah, there's tons of guys in engineering, but
So
Not enough.
Yeah.
when it comes to math, I guess a majority of guys are only seen as better at it because the majority of women that are good at two things, math and something else. And they don't particularly like math as much as the other thing they're good at. So they always go to the other thing they're good at. So that's why it seems like there's not many women that are good at math, but realistically, they just don't care for math because they don't enjoy it as much.
I mean, I was a statistics major, like in Salem. I just like that there was no emotion. I don't know why.
yeah, it's just data.
It's like if I'm right, I'm right. Like you can't defeat the math. Like, what are you gonna say? Like,
Numbers don't lie.
yeah, like I mean, you can. There's imaginary numbers, but
It's true.
and there's a limit on numbers too. But if you're right and you can prove it, nobody can fuck with you after that. But if you do like something with art, it's like so abstract. Like even doing this to me, like talking and posting, and I see other people doing the same thing, but they getting more views than me. It's like something. What the fuck? Like,
Why is that?
Yeah, what is that?
Are they
Something's
marketing
wrong, yeah.
better than you?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they paying for marketing?
Are they more? They have more charisma. Are they having better
more
guests?
exposure?
Right? Are they like having a better group?
It could be better guests. Yeah, we got to kick these two out of here and get some good people.
Who's their link?
I usually blame myself. Like it's me. Like I'm asking like shitty questions. I'm now taking the lead of taking like, and I'm like at the end of the day, I'm doing this shit for like literally for fun. Like I'm not doing this for like payment.
Absolutely.
And I'm doing it for like the audience, whoever's watching, to learn something. Like maybe somebody doesn't want to be a nurse, but now they like, oh, if Jared did it, maybe I can do it too. You know.
I just think it's a good job. It's recession proof. People are always getting sick. I mean,
Nobody's not getting sick.
and it's decent.
Eventually.
It's good money. It really is. And
Right.
you know, there are some places where you work really hard. If you go to a nursing home, you're gonna work your ass off, and you're not gonna get paid great. But if you get into like a general hospital like Mass General, you're gonna, you know, you
You're
work
set.
decently hard, but you make good money to make up for it. So, and you know, you get 12-hour shifts. You can.
You don't take your work home with you.
No, I never do.
Hmm.
People ask me, "How's this patient doing? How's that patient doing?" I'm
Am I
like,
supposed to bring that home?
I don't know, yeah.
I don't even remember who that is, honestly. And it's good because you want to respect HIPAA and stuff. People's privacy is very important. So
Yeah, that's so scary. The
Yeah.
HIPAA stuff, like
definitely.
we were just talking about that, right? With
Yeah,
the doctor.
yeah.
We have both. I have a female primary doctor.
Yep,
I think
me
you-
too.
I have a guy, and then I was like,
How's that?
I'm like, eh.
It's the same.
Yeah.
But like the time before, I needed like a quick physical because I was supposed to do something like important for like something required for it. I needed it right away. I was like, all right, I'll just take this woman doctor. And like when she did it, I was just like, it's like she didn't really check me. She just looked at me, she just turned around and just, okay, I think you're okay. I was like, okay.
Were you too handsome?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the guy was like actually thorough, but then like she was just like, okay, you're all set. I was like, oh,
I mean, it felt weird the first time.
like when they check you and everything.
Like when you
Alright.
see her and you're like, I mean, my doctor's old. She's like in her 60s.
Yeah.
But it just felt weird because I grew up with a male doctor and then you have a female doctor.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's like,
she's just super professional. She just does what she's gonna do. If I'm sick, she just prescribes and then you go home.
exactly. Mine was like more younger, so she's probably just like, I think he's gonna be okay. He looks like he's all right. This specimen's okay.
I think if you had a history of some medical
Of-
issues, I think she
She'd
would
take a deeper
tailor
look.
her. Yeah, exactly. She'd
Yeah.
be a little more thorough, based on your historical findings, family history, whatever.
I figured that. Yeah.
But I think because you're a super healthy guy, that they don't really care as much unless you tell them that you're having certain issues, like you're having trouble sleeping, you're maybe feeling depressed or something like that, which thankfully is not the case. But yeah, for healthy young people, they're not going to spend too much time. They have to spend more of their time on the aging population, which have more comorbidities. They have diabetes, they have heart disease. That they're going to spend the bulk of their time on those patients, making sure that they take their meds, making sure that they're, sticking with their diet that was prescribed, their physical activity, exactly, taking their pills. So that's where they spend the bulk of their time. On healthy people like us, they don't really spend a lot of time with.
Literally 10 minutes. I'm like,
Yeah,
All right.
mine's like, hey, does anything feel different? You feel okay? Your vital signs look great.
get the hell out of here.
Yeah, exactly. See you later. See you next year.
No, it was more like I just remember the guy was like way more physical than her, so he was actually pushing down for like tense type things, you know. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe she's just more like adjusted to women type thing, where like I don't have to do this to women as much, you know. Women will say something right away. For if a guy, he'll probably just I don't know, take whatever he says, or like he'll hold it and be like, no, I'm fine, I'm okay, go for it, you know.
Well, I was reading articles that said that doctors usually are better. If you have an appointment, it's better to go earlier than later, because some doctors are just exhausted. But
Early in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Always.
So if you have like a problem, you just go earlier in the morning.
Bro, yeah.
Is that true? Like, does that translate to like nursing, where in the early morning you're like, okay, let's do all this for the patient, and then at the end you're like, you just want to pass it off to the next nurse.
So we do 12-hour shifts. Doctors actually sometimes, not in the office, of course, they do your typical, that's like a 9 to 5 type job, but doctors in the hospital do 24-hour shifts. Nurses do 12s. So typically in the earlier part of our shifts, I think we are more astute, more like more on top of our assessments and all that. So I would agree with that in the setting of like a doctor's office or something. If you have an issue, go early in the day. But I feel like they do a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I never had a problem, but
Yeah.
this article was just talking about like statistics. You know,
It does make sense though.
That sounds realistic.
They're gonna
yeah.
be more fresh, like bright and early in the morning. Once they slept all night, they're there and they're ready to work, and towards the end of the day they get more tired. It's natural.
It's expected. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you can't be mad at like.
I mean,
that
you're
person.
human, right? You're not like a robot with.
Absolutely.
You know what I like though are the nursing memes.
There's some good ones out
It's like, oh, it hurts over here. Well, don't do that. Like,
that is my MO. That's how I practice.
and you're like, well, yeah,
Don't
that kind of
touch
makes
that,
sense.
It makes sense. I shouldn't touch it. Okay.
Right? It does.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Why are you
leave it
touching it?
alone.
Like-
Exactly. Don't touch that. Okay.
Oh, when I bend like this, like, why are you bending like so
Okay,
weird?
don't bend like that. Yeah, that's clearly not good for you. Yeah.
It's so funny, but
Yeah.
I love those memes.
There's some
And
awesome
I
ones.
follow like a lot of nurses,
Mhm.
so it's like
There are some great nurse memes accounts out
Yeah.
there.
I love them
They're
all.
very good.
Is it like a benefit because you married to a nurse? Is there like a benefit where you guys understand each other's work? Because I feel when you're with someone, it's sometimes hard to understand the other person's job.
I think it's good. We share, we swap our war stories and stuff, but obviously, protecting patients' privacy and everything.
Right.
But we get to share patients that we didn't like necessarily, or patients that we liked, with leaving out those names and stuff. But I do think we connect on a deeper level because we go through the same shit on a day-to-day
Right.
basis. So it's good.
But they understand, like, it's like almost
Yeah.
therapy. Like, okay, I went through this.
Yeah.
Oh, but she understands.
Oh, you get this.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah.
It happened to you too. Great.
In the
Exactly.
hours, like, I'm working 9 to 5. Like, I'm getting up
Wow.
like at 8.
Minimum,
Yeah.
9 to 5,
Yeah.
and then you have your other jobs. Yeah,
Yeah. And then after, I'm here. But
true.
other than that, it's like, it's cake. It's like walk in the park.
But we could say the same thing because Meg and I both work 12-hour shifts, and we typically work 3 days a week. So we have essentially 4 days
So you
off.
guys have that.
So we actually have, if you ask me, I think it's a better quality of life than doing the 8-hour, 5 days a week. I
Right.
think the 312s is a little more beneficial for quality of life.
Yeah, I agree because you just focus,
Mm-hmm.
on that day. That
Exactly.
it's a 12-hour shift,
Right.
so you mentally like.
And if you can get them all in a row, you just bang them out, and then you get like 4 days off. It's bliss. Have you ever gone to a grocery store midweek, like Tuesday morning, say at like 9 o'clock? No one there. You've gone to a grocery store on Sunday or Saturday, I'm
That's
sure,
my time frame,
and
man.
you get killed.
You're like waiting for
It's
like 2
horrible.
hours.
You're in aisle 15. It's 6 deep. Everyone has their divider up there. People
Right.
have their own divider. They're not even up to the counter yet. So.
And people are saying excuse me because they're going to try and go past you, and
exactly.
then you lose the line.
They're like, which cashier is going faster? All right, maybe it's aisle 11. Okay,
They're
all right.
blocking
And then they
2
put the
aisles.
clothes
Exactly.
on your ass. Yeah.
Of course. Just when you get over there. Nope, I'm closed. I'm going on a break.
Not after me? No.
That's Saturday and Sunday. I mean, for voting purposes, if you can take off a vote or something, you can go
Right.
right before your shift. It's incredible.
I mean, those things that people don't know. Like, I explain to people, like, oh, some people just work 12 hours for 4 days or 3 days, and then these 4 days off. People don't have that comprehension because they've been working 9 to 5 forever.
Exactly.
And I hate 9 to 5. Like, you
I
lose
can
your whole
imagine.
morning, and then you lose your whole afternoon. Like, I can't do anything. Like, before, I was working from 7 to 3. That's perfect.
7 to 3 is better, definitely.
Like
9 to 5 is the worst for traffic, both ways.
Yeah. So,
I think it all depends like what you're used to, what's around you, what's your schedule like.
That's true.
I don't know. Like,
Depends
what do
on
you
your
do?
commute.
Right. Definitely the commute is a huge part of it. What do you do after work? Like what's necessary to do before and after work? You know?
I mean, I was doing the work from home.
Hmm.
I was doing 3 days a week. That was perfect.
That
But
is
I was
amazing.
bullshitting, though.
Of course.
I was lacking. Like, I was just literally bullshitting. Like,
For people that work at home, that have home offices and they work at home, how can you separate? All right, so say you get young kids at home or something, or you get your wife at home. How can you say, all right, I'm going to dedicate this 8-hour block to actually getting physical work done for my job?
right.
Can people actually do that? I mean, I get that people
I
have
didn't.
offices and stuff like that, but I don't see that people actually do any sort of productive work at home.
I didn't.
I couldn't.
I'm mentally linked to like still being home. I think like if you lock yourself out lock everybody out of the office or whatever room you have, that might be doable. Like being in an uncomfortable position, sitting in a chair, like,
Yeah.
on a table or something, that might be doable.
Like, I literally had a table, like here, and then I had the TV.
That's not working.
I was watching movies and then taking naps. Like, I don't work there anymore, so they're
Right.
not going to rehire me,
Thank
I
God.
guess. Yeah.
They're done with you.
But the thing was, like, my boss would be like, a whole week he would take from working at home, and you'll be like sending him email or something, or you try to call him. He's not picking up. He's probably playing golf or something.
He's good.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
oh, you were reaching out? Like, yeah. But, like,
Yeah.
just-
For people that can do that, God bless them.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't seem realistic. That there's just something about going, doing your commute, whether it's on the T or you drive in, you get to the office and you're like, all right, I got to do some work. You check your emails, your work emails,
right.
and then
Yeah.
you start working. And there's just something about that at the end of the day, and you go home and then you can do your other stuff. But if you're at home all day when you're supposed to be working,
yeah.
I'd rather be outside. I'd rather go to the gym. I'd rather do laundry. I'd rather do like anything except actually getting work done.
Right.
So
And the excuses
I
you
couldn't
make.
do that. Oh, I would make all the excuses.
20 more minutes.
Yeah,
30 more
that's
minutes.
exactly what I used to do. Like, one more movie. Oh, Rocky 3 is coming up. I need to watch that. Even though
have to.
I watched it like a million times already, but I need to watch it again. Or I'd be like, oh, in 20 minutes I check the emails. Like, or I have an email on my phone, so I just go to the gym. I'm not going to check my emails out at the gym.
Negative. Not the way you're lifting.
Right. I'll be focusing on running, or I'll be focusing on deadlifting. Like, I'm not going to. It was good, but my performance was like in the trash. I wasn't learning anything. My clients were all mad. So I was like, not worth it.
Got to keep them happy.
Exactly. The pain. I mean, the bread.
That's
I
right.
need to get my bread.
That's right. You're hungry.
But we have done an hour.
Didn't even feel like it.
I know. We're just having a conversation.
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
good.
He said we've done it in an hour. I was like,
Exactly
is
an
there a
hour.
clock?
Oh, well, I need to buy like
Let's- Let's
on-
bring it over to like what Simon's up to and stuff like that. I feel like we talked a lot about nursing stuff and
That was good.
Me?
But-
what am I up to? I got
What do you
nothing
have to? So we need more stock tips.
yeah, exactly.
Stock tips. Well, I mean, if you're like more long term wise,
Are you going Kathy Wood on
I
us?
might as well just talk about Kathy Wood.
Okay.
Yo, you love Kathy Wood.
I do too.
Yeah, you too.
That's-
You research her?
That's
I researched
that's Mary Magdalene right there.
I didn't
he
even
did
know
all the
her.
research for me,
Right.
and then I watched all the videos afterwards, and I was
Wait, she
I'm
got videos?
convinced.
She's got she's got plenty of videos.
You can look
Explain
her
who
up.
she is, and then we go from there.
Oh, dude. So she's been like an analyst for like decades, right? But when I like started to research all her other stuff, I watched all her interviews. Well, I'd say a good majority of them.
Yeah.
Everything she talked about, a couple of years later of everything she would talk about, maybe 2-3 years max, everything was 2 to 3 times what it was worth. I was like, this lady.
So Kathy Wood is the CEO of ARK Invest, which they invest in disruptive innovation. So we're looking at next level stuff that's just breaking the mold. That is just, we're looking at stuff like CRISPR, stuff like 3D printing, alternative energy stuff. Like they're
Autonomous vehicle.
cutting edge type of technology investment.
And it's like, when I was looking at it, after I passed more than a dozen of everything that she was right on, I was just like, I'm with her. She has me.
So she's working on companies that are under RPOs, or she's investing before they go public.
Most of the stuff that I noticed that she talked about, I didn't go like as far back as everything that was an IPO. It was just, I just looked at the things that were like within the past like decade or so, like within the decade. And then like everything before then that she was talking about, like, I guess apparently she said she was with Amazon from like the beginning, like when it first IPO'd. So I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Way before me. Let's be honest.
When it was like $10.
basically
Exactly.
When I was
Not
in-
1,300 like me.
when I was still a newborn. I don't know, maybe around that time.
Yeah.
No, well, Amazon just started, no?
No, it was in the 90s.
Yeah, 90s, right.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not like Microsoft or Nike.
that's
or,
fair. That's fair.
No, but it was years, definitely. What else does she do? Yeah, she does like
Tesla.
I mean, her resume is unbelievable.
It's impeccable.
Yeah. And her like predictions.
she got into
Spot on.
like she started Bitcoin at 250. Oh, like, what the?
She sold at 21, hopefully.
Probably.
Probably.
I think like because of the whole SEC thing, where like when something starts to like cause you to make unrealized gains in a way, then you have to start like selling before like they're on you. So she had to sell some stuff, and then like I guess like when it forked into like Bitcoin Cash, she definitely like had to sell more, I guess.
That
But
makes
she had to
sense.
keep it at like 1% of what it was, of like what her whole holding was, of what the whole hedge fund held on to.
Well, how she started is fun. She started with her own money, or she was getting other people's money. Or
To be honest, I didn't do.
you didn't do that.
I didn't go that deep into
No
it
idea,
yet.
dude.
I was thinking about it. I was like, I gotta figure this out. But then like I kept looking at everything else that she was still right on, and then like that she did a couple years back. So I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna add these to my list to look into later on in life. But that's definitely something else I'm gonna like see how like she started. She probably did like just end up like acquiring clients or something while working as like for someone else in the meantime. And then she was probably like, okay, I got some experience. I'm just gonna go and start off my own thing.
And then they just follow her.
Probably. She was like, all right,
makes
I'm just gonna
sense.
start off, she's probably like, yeah, I got some money now and I've started off my own collection of things. Let me see if you like them. And then she had some clients that are like, all right, I'll start your thing with yours.
By the way, listeners, you should check out their podcast, FYI for Your Innovation. It's very informative. It talks about all the next level innovation and disruptive technology, and it's awesome.
This is not a sponsored podcast, just so you know.
We're not getting paid,
I'm not getting paid.
but we are trying to teach. So.
Yes, we're trying to teach.
Right?
Yeah. It'd be nice if it was sponsored, but no, we're not sponsored.
I think it's awesome to listen to anyways on a long drive. I come from Salem, New Hampshire, so just driving into work in Boston, I get, typically 40 minutes where I could listen to the same song on repeat on 94.5 and 96.9,
Yeah.
or I can listen to something new that I know nothing about,
Right.
and I can learn a little something.
These guys actually do teach you, so.
It's terrific. I was actually listening to one the other day about immunotherapy, and they're trying to treat cancer. Of course, that's the holy grail of medicine. If we can conquer cancer, I mean that's like it really. I think that's the most difficult challenge at hand. And they're talking about how we've always had the answer, and it's our own immune system is able to defeat cancer as long as we can get past this little handshake that cancer has with the immune system.
Yes.
Essentially, cancer is able to mask that it's cancer by having this secret handshake with the immune system. So it says, no, I'm not cancer. I'm a
with
good
you
guy.
guys.
You can leave me alone. We're good. It has this little dab, just something like that,
Like getting in the club.
and then it lets it go. But if we're able to disrupt that, then the immune system can say, actually, no, you're cancer. You're not cool. So I'm actually going to take you out right now. Sorry. So your
That's
immune
insane.
system the whole time had the ability to take out cancer as long as we can get past that handshake. So they're working on drugs to take care of that. So that's really cool. And that was on FYI. That was an awesome podcast, right?
Definitely need to
So
take a
many
look.
disruptive things, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Cancer is giving like $100 bill to the bouncer just to let him in.
That's what it is.
In a way,
they
yeah.
get the best table.
Get
They
best
just
table,
sit there.
you
They
know.
just like
You don't remember me from way back?
kicks up. We went to different high schools together. You don't remember?
That was me. It was you in the book.
What? Cancer like sugar though, right? There's something with sugar and cancer and
Absolutely.
inflammation and
Absolutely.
Eats it, yeah.
Yeah.
like this is like this big connection where I try to cut sugar, but I mean it's on
Added
everything.
sugars. Added sugars.
Added,
right,
Exactly. Natural sugars is great.
Like
Like,
if I have
fruit.
yeah.
Fruit's terrific for you. Vegetables, terrific.
It's like your body's already working off the like working through, just trying to get through
Exactly.
the fiber and all that.
Which fiber, we found out with that same podcast, just feeds your gut bacteria. It's not what we thought initially. Fiber was just like this broom that kind of pushes your
Stool.
waste
okay.
product
Yeah, that's
along your GI tract.
Right.
That's what we thought fiber was. But fiber actually feeds the bacteria that help us,
I forgot what it was
push
exactly
along
in the
that waste.
fiber, but it's like it's something that like
yeah.
benefits in our
It's like
life.
horses for the hay, I think. Hay for the horses,
for them.
they were saying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've been really into the whole bacteria in your gut. Like I've been drinking kombucha.
Kombucha. Oh,
I've been drinking like pills.
I do that too. I just don't know if it works, but I think, as we go along, I think there's going to be more research on it and they'll be able to tell us whether it works or it's just a crock of shit. But I like to think that it works. I like the whole concept behind kombucha and it's tasty. So
It tastes good, yeah.
Yeah.
It has sugar.
I still get weirded
does.
out with the bottom of the drink somehow.
there's a little sediment in there. That's true.
There's something
I
there.
drink
I'm
it.
just like,
I
I'll
don't
stop
e-
there.
I don't even look
Check
at
it out.
I just chug it.
Yeah,
I don't even look at it.
it's tough not to look at when you already know it's there. So it's like,
There's some sediment on the bottom of your kombucha.
What are you gonna do?
Take a look at it, guys.
Don't
You'll
look
see
at
it.
it.
You'll see what I'm talking about.
just as soon as I reach that like 80% of a drink, I'm like,
The threshold.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, this is done. Okay.
I also do kimchi, like anything fermented. I feel like it just helps me, and I feel it.
There's
Like I
that.
feel better. Kimchi
Kimchi?
is like an Asian
It's cabbage,
Cabbage.
right? Yeah,
Cabbage
it's
Herbs?
fermented
Oh, it's
cabbage, I
cabbage.
think.
cabbage on vinegar,
Yeah, yeah.
basically. It's
Right.
like a pickle.
Right. Yeah, that's what it is. Pickled cabbage.
Anything pickles is like
Right.
supposed to be good for your gut.
At the very least, the placebo effect is very strong. So if you think it's going to be good for you,
Right.
you're gonna feel it because you're
mind is
you're using your mind to manifest that good feeling. The mind's a powerful thing.
Yeah, I heard of that a lot. Like if you put your mind into something, like if you like, I don't want to go too deep into it, but like people who have cancer, sometimes like they put their mind into it. Sometimes they beat it, even though that's like the incorrect way.
Absolutely.
You don't beat it, but like you. I don't know.
Alex Trebek has stage 4 pancreatic cancer right now, and he says he's gonna beat it, and I believe him. Why not? I mean, where
It's like that faith of like
Absolutely.
having faith of like putting your mind into it. Like
he's the man.
somehow your body just follows it. I don't know. It's just
It's good vibes.
that's what it is. Yeah.
It's all, vibrations and frequency. There's a lot to be said about that, which I don't pretend to know a lot about that. However, I think it's better to think positively in general than if you're just negative all the time. I think bad stuff is more likely to happen. There's that law of attraction kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't follow that too much, but I do think in general, if you're more positive, I think more positive outcomes are more likely. So,
Have you ever read that book? Named Man Finds Meaning. I think it's
haven't
the
read
Victor. I can't remember. He's a
I'll
Holocaust.
have to add that to the list.
He's a Holocaust survivor, where when he got captured by the Nazis and he went to the concentration camp, and then he saw like everybody who gave up mentally usually just die.
Yeah.
On their own. But when he was like fighting for his, like, he had this mentality where, oh, I'm gonna see my family. I'm gonna have a great life after this because this is gonna be over somehow.
It's just short term.
He said that his health was better. He had gingivitis, like
gingivitis,
and it was gone because of his like
the way he thought about like how he thought about it in his mind, just literally like worked at it. I guess.
And maybe because you're thinking about positive outcomes for, say, gingivitis, you might do stuff like, try to clean your teeth a little better. You might actually, unknowingly force yourself to do better things for that certain thing
that sounds more
to
realistic.
create a positive outcome. It's possible,
I don't know how. Like, I just read the story and it was like inspiring.
Yeah.
Like, they will make him work like 24 hours, and he's like woke up with like energy. He said, because he felt like it's gonna be over. It's gonna be like, even though if you're in that situation, it's not. You don't see the end.
It's just despair.
Yeah, and then everybody who was like gave up, die.
What about the other one where like, if your mind thinks there's pain, you're gonna think there's pain there?
Yeah, I would imagine the opposite is true. Yeah, if you're like, oh, I'm suffering, no one has it as bad as me, and you're just gonna, you're never gonna, you're not gonna get out of that with that mindset.
Like an actual ailment with your body or something like that. Like, oh, I always feel this shooting pain in my arm.
I know people like that where they're like, I got a pain in my back. And they've been saying that for years and years and years and years.
Decades.
And you're like, wait, but you still like walking. You still like, you go to the doctor and they say you're fine. Like, what is it? Like, where is this coming from? Like, I never understand. Is it like maybe their mindset?
It's possible.
Maybe it's better to say that I'm in pain. That's why I don't push myself on deadlifting. Like, usually gym guys, like, oh, I can't lift 500 pounds because my back hurts. Or something like that weird.
That's my limit. Yeah.
Oh, did they put like a limit, like a cap on themselves?
It's possible that they plateaued, but I mean, maybe they just haven't pushed this out, but they haven't trained the right areas to compensate, and
or like,
maybe they don't do like abs and they don't. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's like a muscle, and
it's
like,
not just lower back and legs. You got to do other muscles to be able to put that much weight up.
And mostly it's just lungs. They don't run. They don't do cardio.
Right.
Yeah, they could have felt something, and then they were scared of like feeling that sensation again. So they mentally put that cap in there, and then it never left.
But I never see them fail. Like
dropping away because
you see me at the gym, and when I'm gonna go for my PR, if I can't, you see me fail. Or if you see me squat, some people are just afraid of falling, and I just fall if I can't pick it up. Like
but that's why you have someone spotting you. If you do, if you're going for PR, I mean, you should have some spot. You know?
Right.
Just.
But some people don't like to get let go
That's fair.
of that failing.
Mm-hmm.
They just like to be comfortable on wherever they can live.
That's true.
I don't know.
No, that makes sense.
It's better than nothing. The fact that you go in the gym.
Yeah, I appreciate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm friends with them.
Yeah.
And like I try like, hey, maybe you can. I can see your body. You can push it. Like mentally, you're mentally, you're not like letting yourself.
You're capping yourself at a certain weight.
But I think that's with everything though.
Absolutely.
With career and.
Yeah. Some people just get comfortable, and change is very uncomfortable. So.
But it's necessary. It's like I was watching this
it can be.
Of Billions, and he was talking about like some little guy, like he gave a he gave a check to, and like once he reached that $1 billion mark, he was scared of like, what do I do with all this money? How do I invest it all? How do I like make it work? But like when you have like a smaller amount of money, you know what to do with it, because like you know like the denominations of what goes where. When you have this huge amount, you don't know if you should just throw it all into these certain ones or something like that.
I mean, a millionaire. If a millionaire loses all his money, because like let's say the government takes it, they know how to get it back. Like they already know the path. They know what to do. Mentally, they're already there. Exactly. Their mindsets, like they're getting that $1 million back.
They have the same connections that
they do. Yeah, but this guy was more like I manage it for others type thing. So it's like once he reached that certain like peak of like once he passed that peak, he was like, this is too much for me to like watch over. So let me stop and go back to my actual weight class and like manage what I know I can watch out for. This is too many things to look out for.
But this is a book called Small Giants. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. But it's about all these companies where CEOs from like, let's say Google will go to this company and be like, oh, your company can be a IPO and get like billions of dollars on more cash and grow your business. But they're like, no, we all set. We like to keep it as a family business. And they're still making like hundreds of millions on their own. Like they don't want to make billions. They're just fine making billions.
What's the term? Boutique? Something like that.
Like boutiques, you know, Cliff.
They're kind of small-minded.
Cliff Bar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before they sold it to Kellogg's or whoever they sold it, they were making hundreds of millions. Just
one of the 5 food companies that they're actually in.
Right. They would be just doing it on their own, doing their own thing, and then they were just forced to sell because either they sold to Kellogg or Kellogg would just beat them. They would make the same bar
exactly,
and they just sell that same bar and make better marketing.
True.
And they were like, you know what? Give me the $2 billion you're gonna give us, and then we just walk away.
Yeah. So like it's back to the Facebook and Snap thing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what? Fine, we can't buy you. We'll make you.
Exactly.
I mean, if you think about it, everything in life is like the same circle. Like,
just
once you figure it out, you're like, okay, I need to invest in this and that.
Definitely.
And then in your career, it's the same thing.
I gotta take a piss.
Are you guys investing for retirement, or you guys are just investing because you have a goal of buying a house, going on vacation?
The first two. To be honest, it's a multiple of things. Like one, yes, retirement. Another one is yes, a house. Those would be top 2. But like I think like the closest thing would be like starting a sort of business that a friend wants. And like, hey, they'll be like, hey, go in half with me or something like that. And I don't know why someone will always ask me like, hey, you want to go half? Or like, hey, do you want to do this with me? So that's like definitely one of the step up ones that like I would start with. And so like, I actually think that's something that like most kids should do, like invest until like they understand or until they know what they really want to do in life, or like start some sort of business together with someone else. That way they can make even more and then, you know, use that as like extra income, like side income, while they're doing what they really enjoy in life, or vice versa. If they're working at something they don't like and they actually started this small side thing that turned out to like be boutique and then they turn into something big, they don't have to work that other side. They don't have to actually work that other main job anymore. You know? I think that's something that should be like taught in schools, like teaching them like how to start sort of businesses or like how to like bring in extra income, teaching them like what's like really worth it for school in terms of like what job you're gonna go for.
Right. But I think school has so much pressure on just trying to find funding, especially if you got like in the public school setting. If you go to like a private school, you probably all set. Like if you go to, in the same token, if you go to like Harvard, right, and you go for a history major, you kind of all set. If you go to Harvard, like you're gonna get a job.
Like you can be a teacher with a history.
Right.
Yeah.
If you go to Harvard, or you go to Yale, you go to like an Ivy school, somehow somebody's going to offer you something.
But what are you going to do with a history degree? You're going to be
You got to go with a master's after that history degree.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going to teach history, or you're going to be a historian? What is that? Like, are you going to go on Nat Geo and stuff and do some cameos on like an episode of Vikings or something?
If it's lucrative, sure, why not?
I don't
like
see it as that.
If you go to Harvard and you go to history, somebody's paying for it.
I love history, but
Right.
I would never be a history major. I just don't see it making financial sense at the end of the day to do something like that. I see that as more of like a hobby type thing.
Right.
I love learning about
Yeah.
medieval.
What happened? Yeah.
Exactly.
Same,
exactly.
yeah.
What happened? Where are we going?
But somebody has to do it though.
That's true.
Interesting.
That's true.
And those people have to get paid too.
And
Like-
they deserve to get paid.
Like Netflix is paying historians too. But where are they getting their education? How are they getting experience? That's
What are they learning?
Right.
Like, yeah.
I think you need to put more research on. It's the same thing. I go back. Like if you go to state school, don't do history, because that means you coming from a low income. I mean, I'm just telling the truth. Like you probably coming from a low income family, where you're
That's
not
right.
gonna have the resource, and you're not gonna have your family's not gonna have the network of finding people who are actually working on Netflix, and then actually not having the experience to be a true historian. Maybe you can put the hustle. I'm not putting it down. Maybe you find the hustle and be like, I'm really gonna pursue this, and I'm gonna focus on making videos. Maybe you do a YouTube thing and you teach there, right? And then Netflix might find you and then give you the opportunity. But that's really rare, man. That's like trying to be an athlete. That's like trying to be like an actor, where your chances of becoming that true is really small. But if you go for like nursing, accounting, engineering, doctor, you have a higher chance of becoming that, and then getting paid, you know. But let's say you like me, right? I went to accounting. I like accounting, but I'm starting not to like it anymore. So I'm
Why
like
is
branching. I'm branching to something else.
Do you feel like you've done everything that's like within the branches of accounting, or like everything that's in like the general, like the broad sense of what it could be?
I think I'm tired of working for somebody else.
That's probably like
So you want to open up your own.
Right. Like if I'm
Accounting
gonna do accounting,
firm.
I'm gonna do my own accounting.
Mhm.
And then- well, not do my own accounting. I'm gonna work for a business. I'm gonna open my own business and work on my own accounting, because I understand it already.
Right.
Like I'm tired of like working for somebody else. But at the same token, just because I'm tired, I'm not gonna be like half-assing my job. Like I'm gonna give like everything that I know, and then when I'm done with that, I'm gonna go here and do this, because I mean I like doing this. This does not work for me.
Absolutely.
It's just like,
whatever you enjoy, you just end up finding more energy in it.
and I think
Like-
people are just gonna
Definitely.
help you out to achieve your goal. Like if you put it in the universe, like if you just put your voice out, people are just gonna come in. Like you guys just came in, and you're like teaching the audience so like a news about something new.
I hope so.
Oh, I think they are, but
What else is there to teach?
you haven't told us about the latest hot stocks, I guess.
Oh,
Even though I'm so not
okay.
into that, but
there's some things like for genomic and like 3D printing type things. When like you're going into like into like companies ETFs, you can see like in like deep in there, like everything's like on a low basis point. Well, I can't say low basis points because there's still good percentages, but say things like they're like between the 1% to 5%. You can see what all these other companies are, and usually like hedge funds will like them, but they'll be like, all right, I can't give you too much exposure. I don't like see you like getting out of the hole that like shows that you're going to be great later on 5 to 10 years down the line. So I can give you this little amount, you know? So what was I thinking of? You think of like this company that like 3D prints skin tissue for like lotion companies like L'Oreal and like other conditioning type things, for like so that way they can actually, once they test these things on these skins, they can be like, okay, it hasn't done anything, now we can move on to the human test subject, you know?
And that's much more ethical than using like pigs or
animal, right?
And any type of animal,
like
primates.
monkeys.
Yep, absolutely.
So yeah, like they're doing skins, and then like I guess later on they're trying to work on like organs and such, right? What else was there? Like these are like the really small pharmaceutical type ones, but these can be like bought out by like bigger companies like that are like 3D big companies, you know, that could be like 5 to 10 times their size.
So do you like recommend buying the big? Like what companies you recommend buying that are huge on 3D or
Gene editing?
or do you like recommend buying like the small companies first and then just letting them buy?
I would
Getting
say
it bought out.
buy what you know.
Companies?
Yeah. But when you first start out, buy what you know, because like otherwise you're just going to end up getting scarred, and then like you want nothing to do with it. You want to be able to take the time to like understand companies. When you first start out, buy something, like I said, like that, you know, you understand why it got where it is, how long it took for it to get there, what helped it out, you know, like what was the economy like and everything like that. That way, when you start investing in these small companies, you'll know like, are the same conditions going to be for the same conditions going to apply for it later on in life, like 5 to 10 years from now? Is there a chance that like some other pharmaceutical company is going to like, you're like, okay, you have this patent for it. All right, we'll buy you then, just so we can own it. Other things like, if nobody else is going to buy it, like, do you think it's going to stay down there? It's going to stay like on the market and continue to expand, not letting its shareholders to say yes to be allowed for a buyout? Then you can be like, okay, I'll buy this stock. I know they're going to want to stick around for the long term. I know they have all these companies that they're going to be getting money from because people want to like get the testing substance from it, just so it'd be cheaper for them instead of using like actual test subjects, human subjects. You know?
Yeah, I like the idea of not using animals anymore. Would they be able to use it like medically, like a medicine? And have you researched that? Like,
so like for them to print out like organs and such.
Yeah, I need to pee, man. Sorry.
It would take a while. Oh, okay. So when they
Come over here like that.
You're good, dude.
You guys can talk.
we can, but it's more fun when you're here.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, shit. It's pretty sick, actually.
This thing? Yeah.
This whole, like the whole thing.
I like the setup. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. How big does this room look when you're watching the videos? It looks massive.
To be
right?
honest,
it looks like a boardroom.
Yeah,
this table's like twice as long.
When I'm scrolling through, I go on Instagram like maybe once a month.
Oh,
and
wow.
then yeah,
I go on like daily, dude.
Yeah.
And I see these videos, and I'm like, nice.
Wow.
Like.
It's like if I get like a message, I'll probably like get on there, and then like I'll type on the message and then like on. But like I'll try not to like scroll through anything.
I try to give him as much exposure as possible. He's fucking working his ass off.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to lift the motherfucker.
Yeah, like when I see a shit, like I'll definitely tap it, regardless.
And
you know?
Tyler is always
He's on there too?
He's
liking
always likes his stuff. And I'm like, that's right, dude. That's your fucking boy.
If your boy's working on something,
Exactly.
you have to.
You
no
gotta
matter what it
support.
is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Even if I like see it and it's like 4 weeks old,
Yeah.
I don't have to watch it. Just tap it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I know I didn't get to watch it for a month ago.
Don't matter. Don't matter. Loved it.
I don't care. I loved it. I don't know what you talked about, but I loved it.
Yo, make it sound like a title for me. We talk so much.
You gotta work with the Google Trends. You gotta just think about like what did we talk about a majority of the time, or like even a fraction of the time. Whatever's the coolest with that Google Trend.
Fiscal responsibility. we're talking about essentially being smart with your money, and like because exactly
Job.
like,
That's another
picking
one.
the right major for school, whether you go to graduate school or not, what you do with your money and investing, what you're gonna invest in. It's all about being smart with your money. And not doing stupid things like the stuff I talked about. So it's like money wise, something like that. Like
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of been the theme of the episode.
Yeah,
It's literally like a whole
education.
Yeah. And yeah, we're talking about a bunch of different aspects, like the education system needs to be better to help people manage their finances, or is higher education really that important, or is the right school really that important, or what stocks should you invest in, what's good with stocks, we haven't really touched on real estate too much, but
Yeah. I mean, just that you buy your first one.
yeah. True.
All right, you want the guys finish?
You tired? I mean,
We can just chill after. We don't have to like continue recording.
What else? What were we just talking about? We were talking about investing and stuff.
We were talking about what
Just
you're investing in for the
your-
future.
Like, how do you look
what
into
do you
it?
Feel,
Just give us, yeah.
What do you feel is going to be like the next thing? I think that's what you're kind
And then
of
we finish
getting
there.
into.
And then
I think.
That's
Right?
yeah. I was literally just gonna go full Kathy Wood on it. just
I mean,
because-
that's basically it.
That's-
Right.
Are you investing in Kathy Wood stuff, or are you not? Are you winning, or are you not?
like it's like I looked into Barron's old stuff too. You ever looked into?
I haven't done any Baron stuff, but
Just put our
I know
headphones on
about
and
it.
just
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like so much focus when I'm.
When you had these headphones on.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know why.
No, it makes sense.
Like none.
So
I mean,
Simon, where we at? What do you recommend investing like literally right now?
Do that one more time. Bring it back. Same thing. Say the same thing, except literally just repeat the same thing and make it smooth.
this is definitely being edited out. But go ahead.
Right. No, exactly.
We're doing a lot of
No,
editing.
I'm saying, but bring it back. Same thing. So Simon,
Simon, what do you recommend we should invest today?
Oh, there's so many
In
things.
your opinion.
There's so many things.
So Kathy is.
Oh yeah, Kathy's whole outlook.
So
Definitely.
where can you
Yeah.
find what
What
she?
else?
Are you able to find like what is she investing in?
Yeah, usually when you go through like the same way when you go through like your employer's what's it called, when they're their prospectus fund and such, like when you see where they allocate the funds that you invest in, like the same way an IRA is set up, the 401k and everything, you can see like how much a percentage of what the name of the stock is into these other companies. You'll be like, oh, okay, this one has 8% exposure or 6%, and then like compared to the whole 100%, they'll show you like the 50 to 100 different companies that's in there, or less, or more, either way. But say like if you're looking at her company, you can just Google her company, and it'll be like ARK Invest, and then you can see, depending on which one you click, she has like 5-6 different ones or more. Innovation, 3D printing, Israel. That's a funny one, the Israel, because of like how Israel come up with so much companies, and then like the either end up having like crazy investments later on in life, or what's it called, like their what else is there, like you just got to look into her, Google her, Kathy Wood, ARK Invest, and then you can look into things like ARK Innovate or things like that. But when you go on her site, it's easy to find, it's intuitive to like go on her site.
She tells you what to invest in.
Like she basically tells you what she's in. And yeah.
Yeah.
And
What's that file they have to file where it tells you where they allocate the allocation one? I know you can go to the Edgard website and you type the file number. Is that K9 maybe?
K9? Oh.
You know what I mean?
Like, you mean like a 10K or 10Q?
Is it 10K?
Like 10...
Yeah, I think it's 10K.
Well, for her, it's much simpler. It's like you can just go to her site and then like once you see like what's the actual company, like what's the fund consist of, like what's the name of it? It'll say like either printing or innovative or genomic or Israel or like the other two.
Energy.
Yeah. And once you click on that, it'll like you'll see the whole page and you'll see like the quarterly, the yearly, and then like once you click on it, the quarterly, you can see like what did it consist of that's underneath this category. And I'll show you like the exposure if she had like 10% of her whole fund in there or 8% or whatever percentage of it.
All right.
So like I'd say like anything that's in there, it clearly shows what promise is in there for the future, like what they're really working on. I'm not saying like just jump into any of them, but like take your time to like actually research them, see if they're actually worth buying into. Because not even like huge companies end up throwing like a huge portion of what they own into a company. These are small percentages. And like if these companies do good, then that's great. This 2 to 3% percentage or even less than 1% can triple to like 9% or from their 1% to 3%. And they'd be like, okay, I guess this company is actually showing promise. So they'll say to themselves, I can either throw more down on this or I can sell a portion of it or keep it the way it is, whatever they want to do with it. But you don't just jump in on like any company. You just gotta like literally take your time, understand it. What's its past? What's its history? Has anyone else done anything like it?
What are their goals for the future?
Does it sound accessible? Does it sound like it's something that's just gonna flop later on because nobody's gonna back it? The FDA, that was always tough to get through. And I guess like maybe now I'm hearing that like the FDA guy's like he's much more lenient towards generic stuff. I guess like so he's ready to like approve a whole bunch of random things.
Well, thank you guys for coming through.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
I learned a lot from you guys today. I knew you guys, but I never learned this much deeper aspect of you guys, and I appreciate you coming and teaching me and teaching everybody, and you guys come back soon, hopefully. And
we'll be happy to
do that.
We're done here. Guys, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.
Smash that like.